It is an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball here in Pittsburgh as we get ready to start your average run-of-the-mill 5-game series. 5 games in 4 days. The Milwaukee Brewers against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Final series before the All-Star break. Good evening. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Brian Anderson will be back right after the All-Star break. Sophia Minard is our reporter. And Rocca, we've seen a lot of roster moves this season and another series of roster moves today. Craig Counsell in need of fresh arms with his team going 5 games in 4 days.
Yeah, a couple extra inning games in Miami. The bullpen kind of spent. Brewers didn't have a whole lot available in yesterday's ball game, so they make some moves. They bring up Wade Miley, make a start here today, and Alec Asher, Adrian Hauser, a couple of guys can give you extended innings down there in that Brewers bullpen. Jorge Lopez, who pitched yesterday, Nador sent down, so the Brewers bench a little bit shorter than it has been, but it's all about the arms right now for the Brewers. They have a doubleheader on Saturday, as you mentioned, 5 games in 4 days. It's all about the bullpen right now for Milwaukee, and that's why they make these moves today.
Start number 3 for Wade Miley in his first in a couple of months. That second start, remember, he lasted but 4 batters. The one start where he pitched extended innings was a very good outing against Cincinnati. Jamison Tyone on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Buccos have won 3 of their last 4. Brewers trying to get back on track as Starling Marte. He's a hot hitter of late. Christian Yelich, he's had a good first half and then some. And Lorenzo Cain. Brewers and Pirates coming up. Wisconsin is brought to you by QP and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. QP and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Jesus Aguilar drives in another one. Yelich into left field. And the Brewers take the lead. Here's Manny Pena with a drive deep into left field. And this game is tied. LeBron into the gap. Left center field.
Brewers and Pirates, first of 5 in 4 days. Alongside Bill Shorter and Sophia Minert, this is Matt LePay here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Dan Keener is our producer. Phil Malika is our director tonight as we get ready to roll the series opener, final series before the All-Star break. Brewers coming off a rare series loss. 2 out of 3 against the Marlins in Miami. Here is the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Eric Thames continues to be at the top of the Milwaukee batting order, followed by Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Jesus Aguilar hits cleanup, followed by Travis Shaw back in the lineup after tweaking his ankle last night. Brad Miller, Tyler Saladino, Eric Kratz, and Wade Miley rounding out the Brewers batting order. And that's the order tonight, Rock, that'll be facing Pirates starting pitcher Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent for the Buccos. 19th start for Taillon. The 4.05 earned run average. His career against Milwaukee, not that great. A 1-4 record, but a 370 earned run average. That's in 8 starts. He took a loss his last time out against the Phillies.
And a tough luck loss it was. 6 2/3. Gave up 3 runs. The Pirates were a struggling bunch at that point as we are ready to roll now as the first pitch to Thames is a strike and we are underway. Pirates have bounced back of late. They had lost 5 in a row. They have since won 3 of their last 4, including 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. They continue to tread water, the Washington Nationals outfit. Brewers come into Pittsburgh still up a game and a half over the Chicago Cubs in the Central.
Yeah, and the Pirates had some pretty good pitching in that 4-game series.
And that included yesterday a 2-0 win for the Pirates. One good swing of the bat, a Starling Marte 2-run homer. And that was all Clint Hurdle's team needed. Thames with a bouncing ball snagged by Josh Bell. And there is out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Pirates defensively. Near the bottom of the league in total defense. They've committed 59 errors, but they have not committed an error the last 5 games. Dickerson, Marte, and Luplow in the outfield. You got Freese, Mercer, Josh Harrison, and Bell from 3rd to 1st, and you got Diaz behind home plate. Diaz has had a difficult time. He's committed 7 errors this year.
Your umpire crew tonight: Scott Berry calls the balls and strikes. Kerwin Danley is the crew chief. Carlos Torres and Paul Nartz rounding out your umpire crew here tonight. And now the string of all-stars coming to the plate for the Brewers. Lorenzo Cain back this week off the disabled list. Played in 2 of the 3 games in the Marlins series. The second all-star appearance for Cain. Brewers with 4 of them now in. Of course, the news last night that Jesus Aguilar won the final vote. And still some fingers crossed if a spot happens to open up that Jeremy Jeffress could be number 5. We'll have to wait and see.
Certainly deserves a spot as Jeremy Jeffress, but 4 all-stars for the Brewers. That's pretty good. That's good representation for a team that has the most wins in the National League.
Jesus getting more than 20 million votes and winning that final vote. 3rd Brewer to get in that method.
Not only an all-star, but a participant in the home run hitting contest.
Yeah, he's the top seed, as a matter of fact. He will square off against young Rhys Hoskins of the Phillies. Cain, a swing and a miss as Taillon gets Lorenzo on a fastball. 2 up, 2 down.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win here tonight. How long will Wade Miley be able to go? Craig Counsell saying no pitch limits. You'd like to see at least 5 out of Miley. The last thing you want is a short start before a very long series. Taillon is strike thrower, 2.5 walks per 9 innings. He throws hard in the mid-90s, and you know the big arms in the outfield. Starling Marte with 9 outfield assists. That leads all of baseball. And he's got 54 dating back to 2014. So this Pirate outfield, no Gregory Polanco out there in right field, but they have a lot of outfield assists, 19 of them this year.
And with Marte and Lorenzo Cain, that's 18 between them. I mentioned that Marte is tied for the lead, and Lorenzo Cain is right there with him. So you run with considerable risk on the center fielders here tonight. Christian Yelich going after the 2-0 pitch and a little bouncer up the line, but foul.
And Tyone, 4-pitch pitcher. He came up with a slider this year that he's thrown a little bit more often. Fastball, 95 is his cruising speed. Curveball, changeup, and that newly developed slider that he's throwing.
The offseason moves, specifically Garrett Cole going to Houston. Tyone, someone they would love to see establish himself as an ace in this rotation, though he's had to deal with a lot in his young life. On the mound, it has been up and down for him this season. You remember last year he missed, as it turned out, only a month, but he dealt with testicular cancer. Former #1 or a first-round draft pick, #2 overall, just behind Bryce Harper in 2010.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, you know, stuff like that really puts baseball in perspective. New lease on life, and he has really answered the bell well this year.
A full count to Christian Yelich. And back-to-back strikeouts. Good slider from Tyone, and the Brewers go down in order. We'll see what Wade Miley does in his return. The first inning. Jamison Tyone with a couple of strikeouts back-to-back of Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Here's the Pirates batting order presented by Potawatomi. Corey Dickerson. We've had him at the top of the order a few times this week. Starling Marte, Elias Diaz, Freeze, Luplow, and Bell in the middle. Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and Jamison Tyone rounding out the Pirates batting order, and marking his return to the mound, Rock, is Wade Miley.
Yeah, Miley last appeared on the mound for the Brewers way back on May 8th. A no decision, only got one out against the Indians, had to come out. He spent a lot of time on the disabled list, had a number of rehab starts down in the minor leagues, and here he is, first game of the series against Pittsburgh.
One thing that Brewers fans noticed in the one outing where he was able to go some innings is that he doesn't mess around. He has a pretty decent tempo when he is on. We'll see what the Brewers can get out of him, and in the big picture, see if he can stay on the field. He was putting together a good spring training and then was injured fielding a bunt the final full week of the Cactus League. It has been a rough go for a guy who's been a pretty good innings eater in his career.
Yep, a right oblique strain. Had him on the 60-day disabled list. And Derek Johnson would like to see at least 5 innings out of him here tonight. Last thing he wants is a short start. First game of a long series.
2 balls, 1 strike to Corey Dickerson. Mentioned Clint Hurdle has moved him to the top of the order now a handful of times in recent days. He becomes the 10th Pirate to man the leadoff spot this season for Pittsburgh. It's an all-star last year with the Tampa Bay Rays. Had a good power year with 27 home runs. And he goes back up the middle and will be out number 1. Saladino puts it away.
Let's check out the Brewers defense. They should be busy. Wade Miley, not a big strikeout guy. Yelich, Kane, Thames in the outfield. We got Shaw, Saladino, Brad Miller, and Aguilar from third to first, and Eric Kratz gets the start behind home plate. Kratz and Nottingham have been playing, catching every other game. Manny Pena still on the disabled list.
Think of storylines for this ball club navigating a series of injuries that this team has had to deal with, including that man, Wade Miley, and yet they still have the best record in the National League. And Starling Marte now at the plate. He has been a hot hitter. He has hit safely in each of his last 7 games. And an early chance for Travis Shaw. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirate outfield, when you have Gregory Polanco out and right, and one of the more productive offensive-wise and defense productive outfields in all of baseball. These guys can get it done. It's the infield they need a little bit more production out of.
2 up, 2 down, and here is Elias Diaz. He and Francisco Cervelli tag team in a bit. Now Cervelli earlier this week came off the disabled list. He was out with a concussion. Diaz has had a lot of starts here in recent weeks. And when he starts, he has hit pretty well. A little better than 300. Little tapper to Aguilar. And both Tyone and Miley get through the first inning. 1, 2, 3. Underway in Pittsburgh. No score. Here in Pittsburgh, Brewer fans continue to travel well. Jesus Aguilar will lead off, and he continues to rake. No other way to put it, Rock. One of the best players in the game right now.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he just continues to swing a hot bat, good 2-strike hitter. He's been doing that all season long. 3 for 5 yesterday, a couple of doubles, 3 RBIs, and he came up with a big hit, to tie it up against the Fish in yesterday's game. And Brewers are losing 12. Kind of a tough loss for the guys yesterday.
Tough on a couple of fronts. The team arrived going on 5 o'clock this morning. The Pirates not only had a home game, but it was a day game. So little things, but Maybe not so little. You live that.
Sleep's overrated. We didn't wake you up when we came in, did we?
Well, I did ask you. I had a note. Said, could you guys keep it down? Although I was tuned in last night, and you and BA were having a little fun with Lenny Casper's expense with a long game in San Francisco. Hit in the air, shallow center, late break for Marte as he was struggling with that sun, but he recovers and puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, he made up the ground very quickly. He's the only guy in the sun. You see a little bit of sun on Dickerson out in left field. That's going to be gone soon, but you know, tough sun field right now in center. And that good speed for Marte, able to make up ground and haul it in. He had to get down to make the catch. Yeah, I regret picking on Len Casper. You know, they were in extra innings in San Francisco. Yeah. I was saying I hope they play 20. And Brewers ended up almost playing 20. That's what I get.
A ball, no strikes to Travis Shaw, and he takes one on the corner. Taillon gets the corner to even the count. Good to see Travis right back in there. Little tweak of the ankle, trying to field a ground ball last night.
And he kind of turned it a little bit when he was trying to plant and stop. Kind of fumbled a little chopper in front of him at third base and rolled the ankle. He came out on a double switch.
Ball, 2 strikes. Taillon ready to go back to work. Travis lays off the high fastball.
Nice and easy velocity for Taillon. Doesn't look like he's expending a lot of effort, just natural fluid delivery. 95, 96.
One hopper to Josh Bell, and quickly there are 2 men out. Let's get a little more on Travis Shaw's quick return as we check in with Sophia Minnaert.
Yeah, Matt and Rock, as you guys just said, he did roll that right ankle pretty good, and he does have some swelling in that ankle. Certainly not 100% today, but obviously good enough to be in the lineup. And this is the play right here. You see on the step right here, that's where he jams that ankle. And as you guys said, he came out of the game last night in a double switch. So Counsell said the concern was really whether he'd be able to move laterally, defensively, and any running on the bases. So certainly not 100%, but Shaw trying to get through it here tonight.
A little ice last night. Tape it up and see if he can go. You got to have that bat in the lineup.
And trying to push through this final long weekend before the All-Star break. Certainly a thrill for those Brewers who will be a part of it in D.C., but a time to take a deep breath for many others. Let's talk about that marks the halfway point. Well, we're well past the halfway point of the season mathematically. Ball a strike to Brad Miller.
Man, by the time the All-Star break gets here, the Brewers will have played 98 games.
Pushing the 2/3 mark of the season. Miller a couple of home runs as a Brewer. And this goes off the glove of Taillon, and Miller is on as Harrison unable to make the play, and Brad Miller is the game's first base runner.
Yeah, that'll be a hit. Yeah, Taillon knocked it down, deflected it. Had he not done that, I think Harrison's going to have a relatively easy play up the middle. But it's all about instincts. I mean, a pitcher's going to go after this baseball. Yeah, that would have been an easy play for Harrison, but ends up being a base hit for Miller. He'll take it.
First hit of the night. The inning continues for Tyler Saladino, shortstop here tonight. And Saladino sends one out of play.
Man, Josh Harrison always the first guy in the game with a dirty uniform.
Never fails.
It never fails. He hasn't even batted yet. He's ready.
Ton of energy. And he has been a problem for the Brewers for a long time. Saladino back up the middle. Back-to-back two-out hits here for the Brewers in the second.
Went out and reached out and got a slider that time. That's that new pitch for Tyone. Added that pitch this year. It's been a very effective one for him. 88 miles an hour, up a little bit, out away from Saladino, and just kind of punches it out into center field. Good job of shortening it up right there and putting the ball in play.
Brewers got to Tyone early. Last time Tyone faced the Brewers last month. I mentioned he's just 1-4 in his career against Milwaukee as Eric Kratz settles in. See if Kratz can get hot again. When he first came over to the Brewers, he was hitting the ball a ton and then went through that 0 for 23, and I think everybody watching got a kick out of his reaction when he finally snapped that slump with that double against the Marlins.
Yeah, a couple of nights ago, double in the ninth inning. Hands up, all excited.
He was hitting the ball hard those first several games in a Brewers uniform. 3 homers for Kratz, the veteran and one-time Pittsburgh Pirate. Handful of games here in a couple of different seasons. Miller an infield single. Saladino a single to center. And Tyone falls behind 3-0.
Trying to establish that breaking pitch is Tyone. He has a curveball that's in the low 80s, so throws a little bit harder than a lot of guys. So a lot of curveballs in that Florida series, about 77, 79 miles an hour. Got a little bit more on his.
Wade Miley waits on deck. Brewers 2-3 against the Pirates so far this season. They split what turned out to be a 2-game set here last month, the final game being rained out. Thus the 5 games in 4 days. Teams wanting to get it done now. Brewers have been fortunate to this point to have lost just 1 game because of weather. Terrible weather in the spring, but the Brewers up until last month came away okay.
Yeah, well, they had to play in some really rough weather, but they were able to get the games in. Fortunate, because you only have to worry about that half the time.
Very good point. The beauty of the roof.
Yeah.
I would think a key, and they can't control it, but a key for this club is to keep those off days clear. When we get past the All-Star break, nothing but Thursday off days. You get into the final month of the season. Runners on the move with the payoff pitch and a breaking ball in there for strike 3 called. Third strikeout for Jamison Tyone as the Brewers strand 2 runners. No score in the second. brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Nice comfortable night here in Pittsburgh as Brewer fans, as usual, making their way on the road to watch their first place team in action. Bottom of the second inning, Wade Miley put him down in order in the first, and David Freese will lead off.
It's a nice town, especially when you have weather like this.
Oh yeah.
Good town to walk around in, take in the sights.
A lot going on. Freese, Luplow, and Josh Bell in the second for Pittsburgh. In all-star appearances, Wade Miley has one on his resume in 2012. His days with the Diamondbacks.
He's always had good command, never has been a hard thrower. Keeps the ball down. His MO is getting ground ball outs. Add a little, take a little off, cut it, sink it. Likes to work quickly.
That outing against the Reds back on May 2nd. 6 innings of 3-hit, 1-run ball. As Freese gets the first hit of the night for Pittsburgh.
Hey, it's the Brewers against the Dodgers when they come to town for a 3-game weekend series. That's Friday, July 20th through Sunday the 22nd. Check out the complete schedule that includes 2 big gate giveaways at brewers.com. The Brew Crew against the Blue Crew.
There you go. And the Blue Crew came off the canvas. They had a very rough start. They have turned things around. They're in the thick of it out of the National League West. Just a half step behind the Diamondbacks.
They've won 7 of the last 10.
Jordan Luplow, the right fielder. Talk about all the exciting prospects that the Brewers have in their organization. Here's one that Pirates fans are intrigued with. He was their minor league player of the year last year. Getting a start for the second consecutive game for the Pirates.
Hey, Clint Hurdle's got as many right-handed bats in the lineup as he can. The only guy that's left-handed, Dickerson, the leadoff hitter. Josh Bell, the on-deck hitter, is switch hitter. So that's why Gregory Polanco, their normal right fielder, sitting this one out.
2-strike pitch, and Luplow goes down swinging. That's out number 1. First strikeout of the night for Wade Miley.
He tries to get ahead of you and then get you to chase. Throw strikes early so you don't have to throw strikes late in the count. That's what Wade Miley's all about.
1 out, 1 on for Josh Bell. Bell had a breakout year last year. A lot of power, 26 home runs. Has but 5 so far this season, but he's driven in 42.
Second on the team in RBIs. Gregory Polanco leads the Pirates with 47 RBIs.
Bell sends one in the air to right center field. Kane takes charge, out number 2. And now here's Josh Harrison. Talked about the lineup shuffling of late for Clint Hurdle's team, and Harrison, a guy you're used to seeing at the top of the order, and now he's hitting 7th.
Man, Bell Harrison, kind of a surprise. 6th and 7th in the batting order. Bell usually up there. Harrison has done a lot of leading off in his career.
Also done a lot of hitting at the Brewers' expense, especially in this ballpark. He was but 1 for 8 in the series that turned out to be the 2-game series last month, but hitting .325 at home against Brewers pitching in his career. Includes a handful of walk-offs.
Does a lot of things to help you win. Running the bases, defensively, at the plate. Good player.
Miley gave up a leadoff single to David Freese. Struck out Luplow and got a fly ball from Bell. 2 balls, 1 strike to Harrison. Just off the 60-day DL, but he dearly needs some innings out of Miley here tonight. A walk to Harrison. Runners at first and second with 2 away.
Got to manage that pitch count as best he can. Brewers need to get a little bit out of Miley here today. You got some fresh arms down in that bullpen. Brewers with 8 relievers. 2 guys down there can give you maybe 3-4 innings if need be. But you don't need a short start, the first of a 5-game series.
Alec Asher and Adrian Hauser rejoining the team from AAA Colorado Springs. Jordy Mercer at the plate, waves and misses for strike 1.
Yeah, 2 guys that have already been here with the Brewers this year. So the Brewers still at 46 different players.
But be ready, right?
And holding.
And not quite at the All-Star break.
And those 2 guys were on an All-Star break down in the minor leagues.
Craig Counsell and then team of David Stearns and Matt Arnold making the decisions, keeping this team in first place, and everybody playing a role well beyond the 25-man roster.
Yeah, David Stearns made it clear to everybody in the minor leagues that's on the 40-man roster to be ready. Don't be heading off to Hawaii for the break. We might need you. And they gave a call to 2 guys. And they got here quickly.
Yeah, you knew that wasn't lip service from the Brewers general manager. It was real. 2 balls, 1 strike to Mercer. And that's through, and a base hit to left. Yelich charging. Here comes Freese. And the throw cut off, and they will get Harrison at third. Shaw cut it off, fed Saladino, and that will end the inning. The Pirates want to take a look at it. And now let's see what we have.
Yeah, Clint Hurd will tell him to look, but I'm not sure what the umpires are talking about here. They're calling him safe. Umpires got together, and that's something you don't see very often.
No.
Kind of a group discussion.
Yeah. I believe Saladino may have dropped it.
Okay, dropped the baseball. Is that what it was? We couldn't see that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, never did have it. Yeah, that's why the umpires got together. Third base umpire Paul Nauert never saw it. There you go.
So Mercer moves to second on the throw. A run is in. RBI single for Jordy Mercer gives the Pirates the early lead. Jamison Tyone at the plate. So the idea was right, but the execution didn't happen, and the Pirates get the first run of the game.
Yeah, tried to slap that tag a little bit too soon. Didn't have the ball in his glove.
Miley out in front, 2 strikes and nothing. Two-out RBI single for Mercer off Wade Miley. Pittsburgh on the board.
Yep, set up by Josh Harrison Walk with 2 outs.
Tyone with 3 hits on the season. He's driven in a couple of runs. Two-strike pitch, and that will end the inning. Second strikeout for Miley, but the Pirates get on the board. RBI knock from Mercer gives Pittsburgh a 1-0 lead. Take on Croatia in the FIFA World Cup final. Coverage starts Sunday morning at 9 o'clock Central, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Down to the end, France and Croatia. 1-0 Pirates. We move to the third. Your team get knocked out early. Weren't we making some World Cup predictions several weeks ago? I had England.
Germany got bounced out really fast.
They did.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker for England.
Which is a big surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker for England, wasn't it?
It was. Took it to the semis, though, the final 4. It's pretty good.
There was a soccer game in Miller Park last night.
Yeah, went well.
Pachuca beat Leon.
That's right. Did a great job getting the pitch ready.
Yeah, looked good, too.
Sure did.
It was a blowout. 3-1.
That is a blowout. There's total domination. A ball, 2 strikes to Wade Miley. Leading off the third for Milwaukee, and that is a called third strike. 4 of them now for Tyone. 1 away.
Strikeouts a problem for the Brewers in last night's ball game. 17 punch outs. Brewers offense. But still in the game. Yeah, last night. It's kind of the way it's crazy, the way baseball is these days, right? I mean, you get all those strikeouts, you're still 1 hit away from winning a game.
Yeah, how many games has one good swing made the difference? There's someone who can give you that one good swing at any given at bat. Eric Thames continues to like life at the top of the order. It's a good on base percentage, .350 coming into the game. Seen Kane and Yelich 1-2 for a long time, but now Thames, Kane, and Yelich at the top.
And both teams taking batting practice before the game today. We mentioned Brewers didn't get to the hotel here in Pittsburgh till about 5 a.m. Ray Counsell going through the normal pregame workouts today, making sure his guys are ready to go.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Another strikeout for Tyone. 2 away here in the 3rd.
Real easy delivery. That ball comes out of there quickly. 96 up and away. It looked like a strike. Thames not able to get a piece of it underneath.
Tyone with 5 strikeouts. Two outs, bases empty for Lorenzo Cain. At 96, he has Cain swinging and missing. Is dealing right now. Jamison Tyone. Slider has him out in front, 2 strikes and nothing.
Yeah, most of his sliders have been off the plate. Brewers are chasing. Every now and again he'll throw one for a called strike.
2-strike pitch. Cain is caught looking, and Jamison Tyone strikes out the side. Here in the 3rd, it remains 1-0 Pittsburgh.
No, that's not me. Not pitching. I was catching those position players. I did that once when I was with the Angels. Donnie Hill came into a game. I was with the Angels at the time. Brewers were laying one on us pretty good at County Stadium.
So what do you tell him if you make a mound visit?
You don't make.
Just,
what are you going
yeah,
to?
just try to get it over the plate.
Throw strikes.
Yeah, just get it over the plate.
Yeah.
Don't try to throw 100. Corey Dickerson sends one to Aguilar, and the feed to Miley is just in time for out number 1.
Aguilar does that as well as anybody. You know, that firm throw right on the money to the pitcher, covering the bag at first. And as hard as he throws it, he better get it, up about chest high and lead the pitcher well. And that thing's going to end up in the dugout. Gets it to him quickly, lets him catch the baseball, then find the bag. And well done by Aguilar and Miley that time.
I think more and more baseball fans and just baseball observers are understanding how nimble this guy is. I remember a series here early last year, late April, early May, where he made a couple of plays where he needed some good footwork, and he showed it, and we're whoa. This is more than just a big guy who hits the ball hard.
Yeah, how about the bare hand play made in Miami? That flip from Jeffress. Yeah, he's got good balance, good footwork, good hands, really good throwing arm. And to those that think Aguilar's not a good first baseman, they just don't see him play enough.
Exactly, or maybe at all. It
Right.
seems like almost every night there's going to be a tough play or two, and he'll make it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wade Miley working against Starling Marte. Pirates touched him up for a run in the 2nd inning. 2-out RBI single from Jordy Mercer. Scored David Freese. And a cold 3rd strike to Marte. 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd.
Well, pounding the strike zone, working quickly and catching Marte on the inside corner. Perfect pitch, 94. Marte knew it.
Three strikeouts now for Wade Miley.
Taking a page out of the Brent Suter book. And hitters stepping out on Miley here tonight, slowing him down a bit.
Adds a little tempo. Backswing got Eric Kratz there. Elias Diaz at the plate. Sends one into left field. Christian Yelich with room. And a nice clean inning for Wade Miley. Sets the Pirates down in order. We are through 3. Pittsburgh, the early lead. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Beautiful ballpark here on a very nice night for baseball. Good weather expected throughout the weekend. Going to heat up a little bit, but all players don't mind that. Little heat and humidity going. Now, I'll remind myself of that in the middle of Game 2 Saturday of the doubleheader.
Yeah, it's going to get a little toasty out here. It's not
will.
nearly as humid as it was in Miami.
They had the roof open one of those nights, right?
First night.
Yeah.
A little steamy.
Christian Yelich followed by Aguilar and Shaw here in the 4th for Milwaukee. Yelich swung the bat well. His first trip back to Miami since the January trade.
All of his hits came to the opposite field. That's what you like to see out of any hitter. That means he's staying on the baseball, and what happens normally after that, they start working you in, and that's when you get pitches to pull. But they continue to work Yelich away.
Hitters count for Christian. The Brewers can get a little something going. Stranded a pair in the second inning, and again he tries to go the other way, but Freeze is there for the first out of the inning. Well, got the doubleheader coming up, the traditional doubleheader on Saturday.
Had him played perfectly. Didn't even have to move. Line drive out.
Let's get more on that doubleheader coming up as we check in with Sophia.
Roster moves before the game today, and we're expecting more over the next few days as they get ready for that doubleheader coming up on Saturday. What we do know is that Chase Anderson will start one of those games, and it's possible that Brent Suter could be activated from the disabled list as an option for the second game of that doubleheader. Now, Craig Counsell said he was not going to name a starter yet for that second game. Said Suter is still an option. He did throw a bullpen yesterday in Miami. He's doing well. Suter was out on the field playing catch before the game today, so they just want to see how he recovers, but it's possible he could be in there Saturday. He's been dealing with that left forearm strain, but otherwise they'll likely call somebody up from AAA, and it's possible we could see more relievers called up as well.
Jesus Aguilar sends one deep into left center field, and there's another one for Aguilar. 24 for Jesus.
And there's no cheapies out in that direction. Left center out there is 410, the deepest part of the ballpark. And the big fella, when he connects, there's no ballpark going to hold him. He is something else, this guy. Just continues to get it done. Another home run, another RBI, and ties up the game. It's amazing how consistent he's been. A slider right down the middle of the plate, and he knocks it out of here. And we're all tied at 1.
And the ever popular mug for the camera. Here's Travis Shaw sending one into center field.
Have you noticed how laid back the gauntlet has become?
It's kind of Joe Cool right now, right?
I think everybody's afraid to go too aggressive with Aguilar, and they put him on their back. Right down the middle of the slider, 86, and Aguilar, as soon as he made contact, he knew it was gone. Right over the 410 sign out in left center. Kaboom.
Powerball home run count 24 now for Aguilar, and 68 RBIs. Only Eugenio Suarez of the Reds is ahead of him, and just by 1. All-star for a reason, Jesus Aguilar.
Top seed in the home run hitting contest for a reason. Did you notice the guys in that home run hitting contest? Only one American leaguer.
Yeah, Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of others, or at least one other decline. Jose Ramirez of the Indians. But yeah, you got Judge, you have Stanton, who you would think would be in there. But it becomes a choice, I guess. And I don't know, Rock, if it's a myth, and I don't think it would apply to Aguilar, because you hear people say that if you participate in this, it can affect your productivity when the games begin again, and whether there's truth to that, who knows. But with Aguilar, the way he swings the bat nice and easy, I don't think it's a problem.
He doesn't overswing.
Miller goes down on strikes, but Aguilar ties the game as he does what no one does better in the National League. Hits a ball out of the ballpark.
MLB.TV All-Star Sale. For just $39.99, you can access AC streams of all out-of-market games, plus enjoy a free MLB at-bat premium subscription when you sign up. Learn more by going to MLB.TV today.
You'll see Yelich, you'll see Kane, you'll see Aguilar, Josh Hader for sure. Zach Greinke was added. John Lester unable to go, so Greinke added to the All-Star roster for the National League. Dan Freese leading off the fourth here for the Pirates.
Yeah, Lester is scheduled to start on Sunday, so he will not be available. So will not be able to participate in the game. He'll be able to go to the All-Star game, but not on the active roster. Same thing with Verlander.
All-Star appearance #1 for Hader coming up, and close to a home game for him, not far from the ballpark where he grew up, as Freese pops one up to Brad Miller, out #1. Miley settling back in. He has set the Pirates down in order in the first and third inning. 2-out RBI single from Jordy Mercer got Pittsburgh on the board in the second.
49 pitches, pretty good as we work here in the fourth. He's getting some outs early in counts. He's only walked 1.
Facing Jordan Luplow. Luplow struck out in the second inning. An idea of the tempo here that Miley likes to work with. It's almost like an acquisition here if Miley can stay on the field as we get through the All-Star break and into the rest of the regular season.
Mid-season pickup. See if we get Zach Davies back.
He pitched well in the Cactus League, had one tough outing, and that blew up the ERA a bit. A bouncing ball over to Travis Shaw. 2 up, 2 down. Toward the end of spring training was when Miley suffered a groin injury. It was the same day that Boone Logan had the triceps issue as well, and it was a tough day at Maryvale Ballpark.
Yeah, the Brewers were counting heavily on both of them before that happened.
Miley back in there, just coming off the 60-day DL. 2 outs, bases empty for Josh Bell.
Yeah, but think about how well, the other guys were able to pick up Miley and Boone Logan. Guys have done a good job covering injuries this year so far.
And you keep your fingers crossed that Brent Suter will be ready to go back in there this weekend. And on the hands, Bell fouls it off.
Yeah, get Ryan Braun back after the All-Star break.
Brawny not on the trip. Trying to get this club closer to full health post All-Star break.
If they do have to, if they are going to activate Suter to pitch on Saturday, they're not going to have to make a corresponding move, because with double headers you get that extra player, that 26th man.
The rare traditional doubleheader coming up on Saturday afternoon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Pirates' first baseman. They miss him with a fastball at 95.
Have you done a doubleheader before?
I'm trying to remember, maybe a high school doubleheader many years ago.
I'm
talking
about with me. I mean, have you done one in the big leagues?
No, I have not. No. Well, there aren't many to have, right? You know, those you get the split doubleheaders.
Had one in
occasionally.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before?
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yep. You got any advice for me?
Pace yourself.
And dress comfortably. It's going to be in the 90s.
Could be a shorts day up here.
Could be.
What do you think?
I'm in.
Nobody would know.
Well, we're two well-conditioned guys too. You know, sexy legs. You get a chance to wear shorts. Got to, right?
Yeah, right. All about comfort, my friend.
Uh-huh. Josh Harrison at the plate. He walked in the second inning. And that extended the inning and allowed Mercer the opportunity to drive in David Freese for the Pirates run so far. Now I know, and we'll talk about it more on Saturday, you have caught both ends of a doubleheader in your big league career.
A few occasions.
So this is nothing up here, right?
Yeah, talking through it is a lot easier than playing through it. Had one in Arlington, Texas one time.
Well, that was probably a nice, comfortable day.
In July, I think it was. The temperature of the first pitch of the doubleheader was 107. Last pitch of the second game, 99.
I want to guess you lost a few lbs that day.
Yeah, I should do that this week.
You and me both.
Lost 8 pounds.
Three and one the count to Harrison. And back-to-back two-out walks here for Miley in the fourth.
Just kind of cruising along. All of a sudden, just can't find a strike zone.
You see the Pirates got their run in the second. They are threatening in the fourth.
Kind of reminds you what happened with Freddie Peralta last night in the fourth inning.
Yeah, he was sailing along.
Kind of lost it.
And Rock, it seemed like it was the first time in the very, very young career of Peralta we saw a little negative emotion on the last walk when he walked the pitcher.
Well, he had a rough first inning, remember, in Cincinnati, but was
Right.
able to get things together and pitch 4 scoreless. But yeah, he kind of got unraveled. The bottom of the order did him in last night.
Mercer back at the plate with a runner in scoring position.
Similar situation to the second inning. Mercer up with 2 outs, couple of men on.
And a good steady player for this Pirates team, Jordy Mercer. Wade Miley is having a lot of trouble locating the strike zone. The pitcher is on deck. Getting Freese on a pop-up and Luplow on a ground ball. Walks to Bell and Harrison.
Very good pitch, turns one over.
Two 2-1 pitch. Miley is battling back. 31-year-old out of Hammond, Louisiana. All-star in 2012. Finished second that year. Running for Rookie of the Year. Finished second to Bryce Harper. He was a 16-game winner that season, was Miley with the Diamondbacks. RBI for Mercer in the second inning gives him 27 runs batted in on the season. And Miley trying to keep it that way. The 2-2. Liner off the glove of Saladino. Here comes Bell, and the Pirates regain the lead.
Like deja vu. Couple of walks, a base hit by Mercer with the pitcher on deck. 3-batter stretch here in the 4th inning after he got the first 2 very easily. Breaking pitch up. It was off the outside corner. He hooks it. And Saladino knocked it down, not able to grab it, and the Pirates retake the lead.
The walks hurting Wade Miley in the 4th. Runners are at the corners for Tyone. Doesn't catch up to that fastball. Two-hit, 2 RBI game in progress now for Jordy Mercer. Two strikes to nothing to Tyone. Mercer on the move, and no throw from Kratz. Need to take care of the opposing pitcher here and get into the dugout. Harrison dancing down the line at 3rd.
All of a sudden, pitch count is starting to climb a little bit from Miley. He was in pretty good shape first out of the inning. Now he's up to 77.
It's been a roller coaster for Miley. 2 innings. He has put the Pirates down in order. 2nd and 4th have been different stories.
It's been the bottom of the order for the Pirates.
Strikeout for Tyone, and that will end the inning. But again, Pittsburgh gets a run. 2-out RBI single once again from Mercer. 2-1 Pirates after 4.
A 2-1 lead as we head to the 5th, and the Brewers Community Foundation is once again featuring the 50-50 raffle at every home game. Sellers will be in bright orange polos, selling $2 tickets and hoping to make your day. So one winner per game will take home 50% of the day's proceeds, and the other 50% will support children and their families in greater Milwaukee and Wisconsin. And Manrock, want to update you on 2 pitchers who are making good progress with right shoulder injuries. For Matt Albers, he's scheduled to throw his 2nd bullpen tomorrow. Possible that if that goes well, he could do a 3rd bullpen on Sunday. So Craig Counsell saying they're trying to push Albers forward with that injury, but he is heading in the right direction. And for Zach Davies, he continues to rehabilitate that right shoulder injury as well. He's been playing catch on flat ground. Yesterday went about 90 feet in Miami, so good move for him. And for catcher Manny Pena, a good step forward for him today in that he was able to swing the bat for the first time today. He was throwing to the bases, so they kept him pretty much 5 days shut down, and now they've been ramping up the baseball activities for him.
It's really remarkable when you think about this team having the lead in the Central, best record in the National League, but it is a nightly injury report. You know, some promising news there, encouraging news from Sophia, but man, this team has had to deal with a lot.
A lot of teams are dealing with a lot of injuries for sure, but you think about the injuries that the Brewers have had to cover. Corey Knebel after 6 weeks, I mean the closer. Brewers did a good job covering that. Zach Davies led the team in wins. You know, Albers was supposed to be the setup guy. And they continue to win games.
Tyler Saladino dealt with his own injury. Of course, there's Stephen Vogt. Just has terrible luck with the health this year after working so hard in the off season to improve the throwing arm. And the door opens for someone like an Eric Kratz now.
Vogt hurt his shoulder in drills in spring training.
Yeah. Tough blow. A guy who could bring a pretty good bat to the party when he's healthy and when he's right. Here's Eric Kratz bringing his bat to the party, and a base hit to left center field. Digging for third is Saladino, and the bottom of the order for the Brew Crew, getting things started in the 5th.
Yeah, that was an area that the Brewers needed to improve upon. It was a rough area in the batting order in Miami. And Eric Kratz able to ring one into the gap. Fastball right down the middle, 96 miles an hour, turns it around in the gap, and Saladino able to get to third base. There's a good start. So you figure Miley's going to be up there to bunt to advance Kratz to second. And if Saladino gets a good read on a decent bunt, he might be able to score.
Walk and a single has the Brewers in business. Trying to get that run back. Pirates taking the lead. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Miley waving away in a foul ball.
Maybe not. Swinging away. Infield back. If he hits a ground ball, they'll turn a double play.
Miley did have a hit in his outing against the Reds in Cincinnati a couple of months ago. And he continues to let her rip. Oh, and 2 the count. Miley a wave and a miss, and that is out number 1. So they decline the attempted bunting, and Miley a strikeout victim. 1 away, and now 8 of them for Tyone tonight.
Yeah, his season high 9. That came in his first start of the season. Well on his way for a season high in punchouts tonight.
Yeah, that was against the Twins. And then 6 days later, Tyone threw a complete game 1-hitter against Cincinnati. The 1 hit came from Reds pitcher Tyler Mahle, a single in the 3rd inning. Here's Eric Thames. Ground ball and a strikeout for Eric so far tonight. Trying to add to his RBI total, which stands at 27 to go with 13 home runs. Big opportunity here for the Brew Crew. elevates the fastball.
Yep, slider, then fastball up in the zone. I got Eric Thames talking to himself. Struck out his last time up on a fastball 96 up and away. That was up and in. Exactly where Diaz had the glove.
Shift on per usual against Eric Thames. Tyone ready with the 2-strike pitch. Kratz on the move. Strike 3 called to Thames. Kratz gets second, but now there are 2 men out. Runners at second and third.
Another breaking pitch. Caught him looking. You saw Diaz doing the motion. That's a signal for a ground ball. What are you going to do with the ground ball? But Tyone not paying any attention. He just threw it. Struck him out.
9 of them now. It's up to Lorenzo Cain. And Tyone gets a generous strike.
Stolen base for Kratz.
About that.
That's like Haley's comment, isn't it?
A first for Eric.
Not just this year.
Yeah, ever at this level. Earlier in the week, Francisco Cervelli, the Pirates catcher, just off the DL, had a stolen base. That's what he wanted to talk about with the media after the game. Did some other things, but he said, I got a stolen base. Good.
You don't get many opportunities as a catcher to talk about stolen bases. So when you do it, ask me about it.
Of course. Tyone doing some work after the first 2 Brewers reached.
Second and or first and third. Top of the order coming up. 1 strike away from getting out of it.
Nasty breaking ball there he delivered to Cain. 1 and 2. Saladino, the runner at third. Kratz at second. Here's the 1-2. Missed at 98.
Yeah, best fastball. He struck Cain out looking on a fastball right on the edge. Outside corner. Last time up.
Run on 4 hits for Milwaukee. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Pirates. Diaz with the block. Breaking ball missing, a full count.
Hey, good job by Diaz. Now the Pirates have thrown a ton of wild pitches this year. That would be a good time for another one.
59 of them, as a matter of fact. Only a couple thrown by Tyone this season. Payoff pitch coming. And Tyone strikes out 3 after Saladino and Kratz reach to begin the inning. A double-digit strikeout night for Jamison Tyone through 5 innings. 2-1 Pittsburgh.
The Brewers will host the Dodgers on Sunday, July 22nd. The first 20,000 fans at the ballpark will take up a one-of-a-kind Ryan Braun starting lineup figurine courtesy of Impark. To lock in your seats, visit Brewers.com.
Is that a tiki boat down there?
It is.
That is nice.
Anytime you see a straw roof, good things are underneath.
That's exactly right.
I'm just saying.
And I'm not arguing.
Especially when it's on the water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it looks nice and peaceful out there.
Down the lazy river. Allegheny River. Corey Dickerson leads off. I'm guessing there's going to be a fair amount of boat traffic here this weekend.
Yeah. It's going to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm. A floating tiki hut. That's a good way to spend a summer night.
Mm-hmm.
Walks have hurt Wade Miley, and he's behind in the count 3-0 to Dickerson. Top of the order for the Pirates here in the bottom of the fifth. 4-pitch walk to the left fielder. First game back for Miley. That's his last outing on May 8th. He couldn't get through 4 hitters before the oblique injury took him out. Remember, that was quite a night. Brent Suter had to come in quickly against Corey Kluber. Brent pitched well and homered off Kluber as Marte shoots one through. That's a base hit, and the first 2 Pirates reach in the home half of the fifth.
Either missing right now is Wade Miley or getting a little bit too much of the plate. There you see it right there. Changeup, not a bad pitch. It was over the plate but down, and Marte just shoots it right back into center field. That changeup is best served down and away to a right-hander. But if you're going to miss, you want to miss down, which he did, but a good piece of hitting by Marte.
Talk about Miley when he's right. He can get some ground balls. Perfect opportunity for him to get one now as he faces the catcher, Elias Diaz. Some activity now in the Milwaukee bullpen. That's Adrian Hauser, just called up from AAA Colorado Springs.
Yep, starter down in AAA. Give you some extended innings if you need it.
Just checking in. Brewers making a series of roster moves. Need fresh arms for this 5-game series in 4 days. Hauser brought up Alec Asher as well. Diaz spinning himself into the dirt. Brewers sent down Nate Orth, Jorge Lopez, also Freddie Peralta. 1-2. Strikeout of Diaz for out number 1.
Yeah, you got to figure Freddie Peralta is going to be back after the All-Star break. Pitched last night, wasn't able to pitch the rest of the first half. Yeah, so send him down. So that's 4 days. You got 4 days for the break, so you figure he's going to be pitching sometime in the next homestand. Remember, the Brewers did that with Zach Davies a couple years ago.
That's right. Yeah, there is a method to all of this.
Right, yeah. It's not a demotion.
Right.
For Freddie.
Players understand that. Let's get a little more on that as we check in again with Sophia.
Well, that's essentially what manager Craig Counsell said before the game in terms of Freddie Peralta. Obviously, he would not start again here in the Pittsburgh series after going 3 2/3 last night. But Counsell did say he will likely pitch Sunday in the Dodgers series. So he said it's not a matter of removing him from the rotation, just that they have the need right now with these next 5 games before the All-Star break. But you will see Peralta back in the second half.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Yeah, and why not? He has pitched very, very well. Back to his debut outing in Colorado back in May. It was just electric. Only 2 Miller Park starts for him. You made the point last night, Rock.
Yeah.
It's a valid one. I mean, this guy, it's hard for him to build any familiarity. He's getting the tour of the big leagues here.
Every time he pitches, it's on a different mound. He's only pitched on the same mound twice, or once, I should say. That at Miller Park. He's only made 2 starts at home.
All right. 2-1 the count to David Freese. Well, he misses again. Dicey part of this game now. Pirates up a run and threatening. Freese tonight has singled to center and has popped out to second. Miley runs the count full, landing a breaking ball. He's walked 4 tonight. Johnson watching his lefty just off the 60-day DL. Jordan Luplow waits on deck. Freese sends one out of play.
He's got really good opposite field power. At least he used to in his prime. You know, days with the St. Louis Cardinals. Big power to right center. He used to be able to get him out hard inside. Wade Miley's touched, you know, middle 90s in his start. Might be able to sneak one in there.
Freese in year 2 of his 2-year contract with the Pirates. And he looks at a pitch that misses inside. The bases are loaded. 5 walks now allowed by Wade Miley tonight.
4 of them in the last 2 innings. Pitch count now at 94. Boy, how quickly he can get away, right?
Boy.
He was dealing into the 4th inning. Good job. Pitch count was low last 2 innings. Been a struggle.
Looked like he would retire the side in order for the 3rd time through the first 4 innings. In the 4th, he got Freese and Luplow, and then trouble followed. Bases loaded, just 1 out here in the 5th. Lengthy mound visit here. Adrian Hauser has been getting loose. Kratz and Miley get ready to work against the rookie Jordan Luplow.
And that'd be a good time for one of those ground balls that Wade Miley has been able to make a living at over the years. 5 walks, only 4 hits. Walks have been a big part of both of the scoring opportunities for the Pirates tonight.
Luplow a liner, and there's the double play. Brad Miller will touch the bag at second as Miley gets out of trouble. Pirates had him loaded with 1 out and a liner right to Miller. Marte is doubled off. Big moment in this ball game. It is still a 1-run lead for the Pirates.
all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Wade Miley getting a big line drive double play. The bat of Jordan Luplow to end the 5th inning and keep this a 1-run game.
Well, not a bad outing for him after coming off the 60-day disabled list. 2 runs, 5 innings. I think Craig Counsell happy with that.
That was how that inning ended.
It was a curveball, and Luplow hit it well, but right at Brad Miller, who doubles off Marte, who is trying to get a little bit too quick a jump.
Ball a strike to Christian Yelich. And the next step for Miley is to feel good tomorrow and be able to take that next turn. All in all, I think a pretty encouraging night's work.
Yeah. You give up 2 runs in 5 innings. You walk 5 guys. You've done a pretty good job.
Yes, sir.
Getting yourself in and out of trouble.
He was in a big time jam in the 5th. Meanwhile, Tyone has been effective. 10 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. First 2 Brewers reached in the 5th, and then he punched out Miley, Thames, and Kane. Full count to Yelich. Christian works him for a walk.
Now, that didn't miss by much, did it?
It did not.
Yeah, slider, curveball, whatever. Just at the bottom of the strike zone.
Here comes the big man, Jesus Aguilar. Let's take you back to the 4th inning. Time now for StatCast, powered by AWS. He hit it hard. He hit it far. About 108 and 466.
Nice easy swing. He knows he doesn't have to overswing to hit him out of the ballpark. That's why he's such a good 2-strike hitter.
Phenomenal work with 2 strikes. 12 of his 24 home runs have been 2-strike long balls. We're mentioning this is his last at bat too. He's part of the home run derby. He's the top seed. But it would be very unlikely that that event would cause him to struggle coming out of it. He doesn't overswing.
Just natural power. It has affected, some hitters in negative fashion at times. Not everybody.
Ball a strike to Aguilar. Yelich working a walk here to start the 6th inning.
That's why a lot of guys decline in that home run hitting contest.
Here's how it looks. Rhys Hoskins, the young player for the Philadelphia Phillies. The lone American leaguer, Alex Bregman, is Kyle Schwarber. Hometown favorite, home team favorite, Bryce Harper on the other side of that bracket.
Now I would classify Javier Baez just the opposite of Jesus Aguilar in the approach.
He's going to let it rip, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he does swing all out every time. They're 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, those 2 guys.
They really are. A 1-2 pitch is hit in the air into center field. Room for Marte. And there's out number 1. Now, it'll be fun to watch, no doubt.
Just a little underneath. Aguilar hit it well. It was a curveball right down the middle. Just missed it. Right at the edge of the warning track.
Yep. Thought he had to pitch to get him number 25. Turns into a long fly ball. One away for Travis Shaw. Looking for his first hit tonight.
Tyone has really been good on the edges with that fastball tonight. Elevating it when he wants to. Hasn't made any mistakes with that pitch. Really the only mistakes that he's made had been with the breaking ball.
I mentioned with Miley trying to keep him healthy. Tyone, it's a similar deal. We mentioned he battled back last year from the testicular cancer. He had 2 seasons wiped out. Had Tommy John surgery in 2014. A year later, sports hernia kept him away. Finally made his big league debut a couple of years ago against the Mets. Last year ended up starting 25 times, went 8-7.
He's been their best guy. Very consistent. That earned run average just a touch over 4. Hasn't had a whole lot of run support. He's only got a 5-7 record.
This Pirates team started well. They were 17-12 at the end of April. It surprised a whole lot of people given the offseason moves, but they have come back to earth since then. Shaw with a bouncer. That's Harrison. And they get the lead runner for out number 2.
They gave up on a double play. Shaw's not running very well because of that ankle. Jody Mercer gave up on the play. If he throws to first, he's got a double play.
Yep.
Yeah, Bell lets it go. Easier play for Harrison, and check it out. I mean, Mercer just gives up on it. They would have had the double play.
Yeah, Shaw stumbles coming out of the box here. Watch.
And plus, he's not running all that well. Bothering him to run. And the Brewers fortunate that Mercer didn't complete the double play.
Well, let's see if they can take advantage. 2 away for Brad Miller. Infield single and a strikeout for Miller tonight. Take a look at Miller's night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. That infield single coming in the 2nd inning. He was stranded at second base. He struck out in the 4th. One of 10 strikeouts that Tyone has recorded tonight. Tyone continues to bring it with authority. Both teams with 4 hits.
I doubt Travis is going to be able to score on anything that stays in the ballpark. I mean, he is not getting much of a lead. He's noticeably bothered by that ankle. He wants to be in there to help the team, but just can't run right now.
He's one of those who will benefit from the 4 days off. After the All-Star break, the Brewers will host the Dodgers weekend series starting a week from tomorrow. Three and one the count to Brad Miller. Starting for the 14th time as a Brewer. And a one hopper to Harrison, and that will end the inning. So a leadoff walk, but the Brewers can do nothing with it. We are through 5 1/2. The Brewers still down a run. with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. 2-1 lead here for the Pirates. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning here at PNC Park. The night has ended for Wade Miley as he now gives way to one of the fresh arms. The Brewers bring it up from Colorado Springs, Adrian Hauser.
Yeah, 5 games started, 101, 368 earned run average down in the minor leagues. 4th different time that he's been with the Brewers this year. The 1.00 earned run average, and I would imagine you can give him multiple innings if he wants. Jonathan Villar takes over at second base on the double switch.
Villar will hit in the 9th spot in the order, which means he will hit 3rd in the 7th inning as Josh Bell leads things off. There's Johnny. Bell tonight a fly to center and a walk. He's scored a run. Came around with a Jordy Mercer RBI single. Both knocks from Mercer have provided the Pirates runs tonight. Two balls, 1 strike for young Adrian Hauser. With the Sky Sox and the Shuckers this season.
Fastball slider basically for Hauser. He showed a really good slider, in his time this year with the Brewers.
2-2 pitch to Bell.
And the curveball to go with it.
Hauser called up as well as Alec Asher. And Bell works a walk for the 2nd time tonight. Well, the Brewers in need of fresh arms going into this 5 games in 4 days weekend. Here's the activity last night down in Miami. You see the multiple innings from Jennings and Barnes, and then Lopez. He was the last pitcher that Counsell was going to use last night. Hader was unavailable. Jeffress has been really busy lately.
Yeah, Brewers had emptied their bullpen. It was going to be Lopez for as long as that game went.
Harrison, a liner into center field that drops in front of Kane. And the first 2 are on again for the Pirates in the 6th.
Bottom of the order for the Pirates has done all the damage tonight. Of course, the bottom of their batting order not too bad when you have Josh Bell and Harrison down there. Jordy Mercer has always hit well against Milwaukee. Fastball in the corner, and Josh Harrison able to hit it hard into center field.
Trouble here for Adrian Hauser in the 6th inning. There's Jordy Mercer. 2 at-bats, 2 RBI singles to left. See if Hauser can get a ground ball here, but Mercer squares away and fouls off the bunt attempt.
Not your typical number 8 hitter. This guy's very good against Milwaukee. He's only got the 28 RBIs, 2 of them tonight. He's up there to bunt because the Pirates have a pinch hitter on deck.
Yeah, it's Gregory Polanco, who has moved into the on-deck circle. And again, Mercer squares away, and Kratz with the block. Runners still able to advance. 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
Breaking ball down in the dirt, and Eric Kratz will tell you should have kept that one a little bit closer. And not able to square it up, scoots away, and both guys able to advance.
A wild pitch as the Pirates in business. A ball to strike to Jordy Mercer. Brewers inching the infield in a bit. Mercer with another base hit into right center field. It's going to score 2 as he has driven in all 4 runs tonight for the Pirates.
"30 RBIs on the season and 4 of them tonight." My goodness. Hanging curveball, and Mercer able to set center on it and dump it into center. And good speed at second base with Josh Harrison. He scores without a throw, and the Pirates extend their lead.
Gets Derek Johnson to the mound. Settle down. Adrian Hauser, a leadoff walk to Bell, a single to center from Harrison, and a 2-run single from Jordy Mercer.
That hanging curveball. His inning started, walking Josh Bell on a 3-2 changeup. He missed the outside corner with it. Harrison hit a pretty good pitch, but that was a hanger, that curveball to Mercer.
Meanwhile, Polanco has been called back. Colin Moran will now pinch hit. Hauser trying to record an outs here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, they were going to go with Polanco had the Pirates not been able to score yet in this inning, so they pull him back. They wait for him maybe later in the game if they need him, and they bring up more of a table setter in Moran.
Moran, the former Astro, came over as part of that Garrett Cole deal. As Moran offers up, 1-1 the count.
A lot of pressure on the Brewer pitching staff last 4 innings for the Pirates. We've seen a lot of pitches, a lot of base runners.
6 hits for the Pirates and a like number of walks they have drawn. 5 off of Miley, who went the first 5, 4 hits, gave up a couple of runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Big night at the plate for Mercer. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a bouncer through the right side. First 4 now have reached for Pittsburgh.
Kind of a seeing eye single in the hole over there. Hey, add another cap to your Brewers hat rotation on Friday, July 20th. The Brewers host the Dodgers. And the first 20,000 fans in attendance will take home a limited edition strap-back hat courtesy of American Family Insurance. For tickets, visit Brewers.com.
A rugged 6th here for Adrian Hauser. Faces Corey Dickerson. 2 ground balls and a walk for him tonight. Two-run single here in the inning for Mercer. He's the runner at second. Pinch single for Colin Moran.
All starts with fastball command for every pitcher. And that's been the issue here for Hauser this inning. Not able to locate the fastball. The changeup has not been a pitch that he's been able to get close enough to get swings. There's a foul tip.
1-2 now to Dickerson. He's hit safely in his last 6 games. Hauser looking for that elusive first out of the inning. The 1-2.
They say Dickerson is a guy that has really done a good job filling the void vacated by Andrew McCutchen. You don't get the home run power from McCutchen that you would from McCutchen, but he's hitting over 300, plays every day, and has done a real good job in left field.
Mentioned had a good year last year. All-star year with Tampa Bay. '27 homers, drove in 62 with the Rays last year. First 3 big league seasons for him were with the Rockies. 2-2 pitch. Chance for 2. There's VR for 1, and that's a double play. 6-4-3.
Yeah, that time a good change up. Got that one over the plate. Had some good movement going away, and Dickerson right at Saladino. Easy double play. Good change up right on the outside corner. Room service double play for the Brewers. Boy, they needed that.
2 away with Mercer, the runner at third. Hauser now will deal with Marte. Marte came off as bad a month as he has had at this level. June was really rugged for him. Clint Hurdle gave him a few days off just to get away from it for 3 days or so, and then he has come back and has come back strong. Single tonight, that extends his hit streak to 8 games.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. I mean, you start getting wrapped up in the axle, and it just keeps getting worse and worse the more you try.
And just dumps his second hit of the night. Run scoring single as Mercer is in, and it's 5-1 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, with the way the Brewers have been swinging the bats. Pretty big lead right now for the Pirates. 4-run lead. That change up again, slices it, just kind of punches it over the head of Aguilar. And drives in another run.
3-run inning for the Pirates. Elias Diaz at the plate. 23 stolen bases for Marte, has him at the top of the board in that department. Always been a dangerous base runner.
He's one of those guys that really has learned over the years how to steal bases, and in his early years he was getting picked off a lot. Pretty decent lead, not huge. I think he's shortened his lead just a little bit because he was getting picked off so much. Even with the shorter lead, he feels as though he can get a better jump and still able to steal bases.
Marte was one of the players that Craig Counsell brought up a couple of years ago when he was asked about Jonathan Villar, who was having trouble on the bases, getting picked off, getting caught stealing. Marte, in addition to getting picked off, you go back 5 years ago, he led the league in being caught stealing 15 times and has cleaned it up. And we have seen some of that from Villar this season as well when he has been in the lineup. Billy Hamilton went through that, a prolific base stealer, caught a lot and cleaned it up over time. Diaz sends one to Saladino, and that will end the inning. A big inning for the Pirates in the 6th as they score 3 times off Hauser, and the lead is 4 for Pittsburgh. Six for Pittsburgh. Move on to the top half of inning number 7. Well, very good night, Rock, for Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, had it all working. The fastball was effective up in the strike zone. He showed a very good curveball tonight. The slider was effective and limited the Brewers to just 1 run. You can see where all these fastballs are ending up, either on the edges or up in the strike zone, and that curveball was nasty. He had good stuff tonight. Our Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game, the 10 punch-outs for Jameson Taillon.
1 run allowed was the solo shot off the bat of Jesus Aguilar. Another good outing for Taillon. Had a tough luck loss against the Phillies in his last start. He's in line to get a win here tonight. We'll see if the Brewers can rally as that bullpen now goes to work. Richard Rodriguez on the mound.
Yeah, he's been good. I mean, the 32nd appearance, 250 earned run average. 96 pitches for Taillon, and he's done. It's kind of the way it goes these days. Strong 6 innings and leave it up to the bullpen.
Tyler Saladino. A pretty good night at the plate. Single to center and walked in the 5th. That walk led off the 5th. Eric Kratz followed with a single. Brewers had something going. Runners at the corners, nobody out, but Taillon then got 3 straight strikeouts. Miley, Thames, and Kane. Saladino, Kratz, and VR. 7, 8, and 9 hitters now for Milwaukee in the top half of the 7th. See if Tyler can get something started here in the inning. Payoff pitch on the way. We'll do it again.
Seems like everybody these days coming out of these bullpens are throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. You know, they had Jorge Lopez yesterday in Miami. They clocked a couple of pitches at 96.
Yeah, bringing it.
Wade Miley hit 95 today.
Yeah, we're thinking with him it's that 90 to 92 range. There's another base hit for Saladino. He's been on all 3 plate appearances, 2 singles and a walk.
Up able to center on a high fastball at 93 miles an hour. Saladino having a terrific day at the plate. There it is, 93, up and in, pulls the hands in and shoots one into center field. 5th hit for the Brewers tonight.
So again, this bottom of the order trying to get something going. Eric Kratz.
Brewers have been able to get their leadoff hitter aboard in 3 consecutive innings.
Nothing to show for it in the 5th and 6th. We'll see if they can turn that around. Stolen base, a first in the big leagues for Eric Kratz. Facing the 28-year-old rookie, Richard Rodriguez. A ball, a strike. Kratz appeared in 9 games as a Pirate back in 2010, and a couple of years ago 18 games. Brewers, the 7th big league organization he has been a part of. Breaking ball catches the corner to even the count.
This goes to show you can catch and throw, and you're a good teammate. You can stick around in this game a long time.
And he is all of that. He's like a true professional out there.
Spent the entire year last year in the minor leagues. It's awfully hard to take that uniform off. I mean, when you've done it your whole life.
Get a little used to it, huh?
Yeah, it's tough. They have to rip it off your back.
Kratz sends one into center field, but there will be room for Marte, and that's the first out of the inning.
Hey, tonight's Hammer of the Game winner is Hudson Bowling Center. What do you think that is?
I'm going to guess Hudson.
Hudson, yep, right on the border of Minnesota. Hey, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Hudson Bowling Center.
Nice.
You a bowler?
Used to.
You have a hook or pretty straight?
A little hook. Yeah.
You had an average?
Pretty low. I think I peaked at not very high. Like $1.70, $1.80, something like that years ago.
That was your average?
Yeah, for like 1 year.
Really?
Then I retired.
That's good.
You? Ever?
I never really had an average. I'd go out there every now and again and bowl. I had a 212 high game.
Did you?
Yeah. Once.
What'd you follow it up with?
90. Elbow got to me after that. That was the end of it.
We are a little tapper, and that will be out number 2.
It's not good for a bad elbow, you know.
No.
Ball.
No. It's 16 pounds when you just keep wheeling it. It'll beat you up a little bit.
Yeah. Had to go southpaw.
How'd that work out?
No, 90. I told
that
you
was
90.
your 90. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's Thames. Well, you just tell half the story. Brag up the 212.
Yeah. It's kind of the way the career went too. You know, baseball, home run, 3 punch-outs.
Hey, today though, you're good.
That would be
right?
good. Yeah.
That's right.
Didn't play so well back in the 80s.
A little different game. Rodriguez has Thames spinning to an 0-2 count. With the Orioles last year was Rodriguez. Appeared in 5 games, his first 5 in the big leagues. And in those 5 appearances, he went 5 2/3. He gave up 4 home runs. A little better story here with the Pirates. He's allowed 3 long balls in 36 innings of work. And a strikeout of Eric Thames. So another leadoff single results in nothing for the Brewers. Stretch time. Pirates lead 5-1. Man in sports, you get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central only on FS1. Bottom of the 7th here at PNC Park. 4, 5, and 6 for the Pirates. David Freese leading off. Second inning of work for Adrian Hauser. A rugged 6th for Hauser. The first 4 reached. 3 runners scored. As the Pirates broke the game open a bit. Five-year-old David Freese. Postseason star. As we know all too well.
Yep, on that Cardinal team that knocked the Brewers out of the playoffs and then ended up winning the World Series against the Rangers. David Freese, the big star in that postseason for St. Louis.
MVP. Time with the Angels before coming over to Pittsburgh last year. Interesting week here for the Pirates. Their general manager Neil Huntington last weekend talking about they need a really good week to determine the direction of this ball club coming out of the All-Star break. They had the good start. Now a sub 500 team. They're 6 under at the moment.
Yeah, it took 2 or 3 out of 4 from Washington after losing 5 straight.
That was a big start to the week, and now this 5-game series. Obviously, we look at it from the Brewers' perspective, seeing what they can do about expanding that lead in the Central. The Pirates still trying to make a little statement if they possibly can. A lot of ground to make up, as you can see. All the speculation as to what may or may not happen between now and the non-waiver deadline, as Freese draws a walk to begin the 7th. So Hauser, who walked Bell to start the 6th, walks Freese an inning later.
A lot of walks, huh?
7 of them now allowed by Brewers pitching. Here is Luplow, lined into a double play that ended the 5th. Pirates had him loaded with 1 out. And he was their organization's minor league player of the year last year. He was tearing it up in AAA Indianapolis before being called up this year. And another chance for 2. Saladino, VR, Aguilar, 6-4-3.
Yeah, second double play turn behind Hauser tonight. There you go. Lead off walk, wipe him out with a double play ball. And no problem. The good throwing arm from Jonathan VR, able to get it to first base to beat Luplow there. A couple of 6-4-3s.
And a liner to Miller, who doubled off Marte in the 5th inning. Here's Josh Bell. The 7 walks allowed by Brewers pitching. 2 to this guy. Five runs, 8 hits for the Pirates. They have stranded 7, a run on 5 for Milwaukee. The Brewers have left 6 on base. We were showing you the standings a moment ago, and for us, we scoreboard watch. Way too much baseball for the players to be locked in, but the Cubs are idle tonight, as are the Cardinals.
You know, when you're in first place, you can never look at the standings too much.
It's kind of fun, isn't it? Brewers went into the All-Star break last year in first.
It's got to weather the storm of this road trip. Tough way to end the first half with 8 games on the road.
You see how it stacks up. Best record in the National League. And another walk. 3rd given up by Hauser, and 8 now served up by Brewers pitching. Well, the one thing in the National League, it sets up to be a very exciting final 2.5 months. The American League, well, maybe Oakland can make it interesting. It's 6 out in the wild card chase, but you got a pretty clear division going on there with the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Indians, Astros, and Mariners. National League, it's a little tighter.
Yeah, a little uncertain. Atlanta, Philly, 2 big surprises. Washington hasn't really been able to get much going. Brewers are going to see the Nationals on the first homestand after the All-Star break.
Josh Harrison continues to do damage against the Brewers as he finds the gap in left center field. And coming around to score is Bell, and it's 6-1 Pirates. Well, this guy just has been a major headache for Brewers pitching for all too long.
Yeah, well, from the beginning of time since he's been in the league. Doesn't matter what's going on. It's kind of like Matt Carpenter with the Cardinals. Might not be doing a whole lot, but when the Brewers show up, look out. You know, so Josh Bell able to score, run number 6. A 2-out walk comes around to score on the Harrison double.
2 hits, 2 walks for Josh Harrison tonight. Here's Mercer. He is 3 for 3 and has driven in 4. Run scoring singles to left in the second, the fourth, and a 2-run single in the fifth. Or check that, in the sixth.
Look at the bottom of the order for the Pirates tonight.
Yeah, they're just crushing.
I mean, look what they have done. It's unbelievable. It starts with Bell. He's walked 3 times. Josh Harrison's been on all 4 times, 2 walks and 2 hits. Mercer 3 for 3. And Moran, the pinch hitter, the number 9 spot with a base hit.
That's where it's come from tonight, the damage for Clint Hurdle's team. A ball, a strike to Mercer.
Kind of the same story last night in Florida. Bottom of the order.
Certainly have seen games where that's been a big factor for the Brewers. Going through that terrific stretch in May, they were winning games all kinds of ways, but there were multiple occasions where it was the bottom of the order getting it going for Milwaukee. And Mercer is finally out. A strikeout for Jordy Mercer. Inning is over. Another run across, though, for the Pirates. They lead it 6-1. I could say they have separated themselves from the pack. Rays having a decent year, but nowhere close. Tyler Glasnow now on the mound for Pittsburgh. Rodriguez worked his 1 inning.
Yeah, look at the strikeouts, 65 punch outs and just shy of 50 innings of work for Glasnow, and 98 miles an hour at the knees. He's now averaging almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Facing Lorenzo Cain to lead off the 8th inning. Tough night here for the Brewers offense. Austin Meadows now in the game in right field for the Pirates as well, as they double switch. Cain to Josh Bell. That's out number 1. With 1 away, bases empty. Let's take a look now at the Powerball home run leaderboard as Christian Yelich strolls to the plate. Jesus Aguilar with number 24 tonight. That has been the one run for Milwaukee. Shaw next in line. Thames, Yelich, and Ryan Braun rounding out the Powerball home run leaderboard.
Yeah, Brewers going to need a couple. To get back into this, get a couple of guys on. Somebody knock one out of here. It's tough to rely too heavily on home runs in this ballpark.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, get them down the lines, you have a chance, but gap to gap. I mean, you have to hit them like Aguilar did back in the 4th inning.
This is an offense that is capable of putting up runs in bunches. Saw a big comeback in baseball a couple of nights ago at Cleveland. The Reds had nothing going until the 9th and scored 7 times. Turned what looked like a 4-0 loss, a big loss, into a big win. We'll see if the Brewers have some of that magic in them here tonight. I'm saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Exactly right.
No time clock in this game.
Now making the move to the bullpen. 13 starts in 15 appearances last year. To one of those highly regarded prospects a few years ago. Two and two, the count to Yelich. Strikeout, a line out, and a walk. At 99, Glasnow misses. Full count to Yelich. And he got him swinging. Worked him inside, out number 2.
Yeah, good stuff out of that bullpen. Check this out. Off the inside corner, nearly triple digits. Now that's an arm.
Here is Jesus Aguilar. Home run sandwiched between 2 fly balls to center. Power on power right here.
I mean, he can turn around a fastball. We've seen him hit many home runs on fastballs in on him with big velocity.
Years ago, he was one of their very top prospects, Tyler Glasnow. Aguilar, a swing and a foul ball, 2-1 the count. Pirates have been getting some pretty good pitching here these last couple of days. Yesterday at Washington's expense.
Yeah, they only gave up 4 runs in their 3 wins against the Nationals.
A shutout yesterday, 2-0. Elevates the fastball, and Aguilar cannot catch up to it. A full count. Last year, Glasnow was just 2-7, working in the starting rotation, an ERA of more than 7.5. Payoff pitch to Aguilar.
Man, his kind of stuff works really well out of the bullpen, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, just rear back and fire for an inning. 100 miles an hour. You know, after hitters see him, you know, once or twice through the batting order, and if he's not getting that breaking pitch over, he's going to start getting some pretty good swings.
Three-two pitch again. And a walk to Aguilar. A two-out base runner here for Milwaukee. Travis Shaw to the plate. Watching this Pirates team, they have a very strong closer. Their all-star rep is Felipe Vasquez, getting some good production from the likes of Rodriguez and Santana, Edgar Santana of late, Kyle Crick as well, and now Shaw with a base hit. And there are two men on with two out in the eighth.
Yep, upper 90s fastball. When hitters are looking for it, they're going to be able to get the bat head out on it. These guys are good. Travis Shaw not messing around. First pitch down in the zone at 98. Rips it in the right. Man, Brewers have something cooking here. Now the long ball. Get yourself right back into this thing.
Counsell will be going to his bench. And Hernan Perez will pinch hit.
And you wonder if the pitcher spot did not come up in this inning, Hauser would have gone out again. Probably would have.
What a chance to make this game interesting as Hernan Perez will pinch hit. He is 3 for 11 in the role this season. Last now pours in a strike at 97. Got Kane on a ground ball, a Yelich strikeout. Since then, a walk to Aguilar and a single to right from Shaw. Here's the one-strike pitch at 100.
You see that these days, it really doesn't really phase you, does it?
It doesn't.
I mean,
No.
you see it really often. It's just crazy the velocity that these guys have coming out of the bullpens.
Break-even pitch. Now he takes something off.
I remember first time we saw him, one of these speed guns. We were in Houston and Billy Wagner touched 100. And everybody went nuts.
A little more commonplace.
Yeah, it is.
You can hit 100 and then get a slider in there at 83. That's a pretty nasty combination.
Yeah, that's a lot of speed differential to have to cover.
The 1-2. Another slider, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the eighth. Backing up the strikeouts again tonight, 13 of them for the Brew Crew. 6-1 Pittsburgh. A tough night at the ball yard for Craig Counsell's team. The offense really scuffling. This strikeout totals racking up. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. All were strikeouts. A 6-1 ball game. As the work is ended for this night for Adrian Hauser, pitcher for the Brew Crew, and now it is Alec Asher. He also brought up from Colorado Springs. One outing came a couple of months ago.
This is exactly why you bring these guys up. Situations like this, you can finish up a game. Brewers are down by 5. You don't have to use your winning scenario guys in the pen.
Fresh arms. Hernan Perez, who pinch hit, will stay in the game. Now at third for Travis Shaw. Austin Meadows at the plate for Pittsburgh, and he sends one in the air to right field. Eric Thames will squeeze it for the first out. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap as we get you ready for game 2 of this 5-game set. Junior Guerra gets the call for the Brewers. Good first half and then some of the season for Guerra. And Nick Kingham on the mound for the Pirates. We'll get it started with Brewers Live at 5:30 here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. All the statistics, they break up first half, second half by the All-Star break, but you mentioned the Brewers are, like everybody else, well past that. Remember, the season started a week earlier this year, and the All-Star break is a week later than it was a year ago. Game number 94 right now for Milwaukee. So when you look at first half, second half numbers, keep that in mind. A lot fewer games to try to match up those numbers first to second half. Corey Dickerson to shallow right center field. Kane puts it away for out number 2.
Yeah, so when you have a starting pitcher with 12 wins at the All-Star break this year, he's probably had an extra start or 2 maybe. Who knows? I mean, that's a lot of games beyond the 82 game mark or the 81 game mark, which is the half point in the season.
Yeah, so if he only ends up with 17 wins only, it doesn't necessarily mean he had a lot of bad luck in the second half.
Right.
Here's Marte. It's hard and off the glove of Saladino, and Marte is on. That'll be an error. He's 6. Second error of the night for Milwaukee.
Hit like a shot, but right at Saladino, and Marte makes good contact, comes up on him and eats him up. He's 6 for Saladino.
Elias Diaz at the plate. It was a hard shot to Saladino. 106 off the bat of Marte. Tyler handling things at short here tonight. Orlando Arcia. We're still trying to get things straightened out at the plates out on the minors. It's a big addition to this club if he can finally answer that. The way he covers ground at shortstop.
I mean, not too many cover ground and play shortstop like Arcia, but he's got to be able to hit. And that's what he's working on down in the minor leagues. Sooner he hits, quicker he gets back.
2 strikes and nothing to Diaz. Two ground balls, a fly ball, and a strikeout for the Pirates catcher tonight. Here's the 1-2. This with a breaking ball. Always be ready mode continuing for this Brewers organization. Hauser and Asher brought up from Colorado Springs today. Diaz to center field. And that'll do it for the Pirates in the 8th. They strand a runner. Last call for the Brew Crew, and they need a big 9th inning. Effective night for Jamison Tyone on the mound. Bullpen hasn't been too shabby either for the Pirates. 6-1 Pittsburgh as we move to the 9th inning. A lot of strikeouts again tonight for Milwaukee hitters as Michael Feliz is now on to try to finish this one up. Recently came off the disabled list. He had right shoulder inflammation. He too came to this Pirates organization as part of the Garrett Cole trade. Tyler Saladino leads things off. A walk and 2 singles for Saladino tonight. 2 of the 6 hits belong to the Milwaukee shortstop. The 0-2. Feliz can bring it in his appearances with the Astros last year. He was inconsistent, but he could rack up the strikeouts. 70 of them in 48 innings. Saladino with a fly ball hit back into center field. Is out number 1.
You know, we talk about this Pirates pitching staff. I mean, they're near the bottom of the league in earned run average. Their bullpen pretty much the same, but these guys are coming out throwing the baseball well. I mean, I know Tyone's one of their best, but this bullpen, they got some pretty good arms coming at you. That's what we're talking about, near the bottom. And you know, bullpen starters earned run average overall 12th. They're pitching much better though.
Yeah, they have, especially of late. Here's Eric Kratz, a bouncer, tough play. Mercer can't make it. A base hit for Kratz. That'll be his 2nd of the night. And hit number 7 for Milwaukee.
And top spin ground ball, picking up a little bit of speed as it hits the ground, or it seems so. And stayed down on Mercer, and Kratz with his second hit. Good for him.
Coming out of it, showing some signs. Finally snapped that slump a couple of nights ago in Miami after going 0 for 23. Here's Jonathan Villar. Tapped out to the pitcher in the 7th inning. Playing time sporadic here of late for Villar.
Well, one of the reasons is that his numbers as a right-handed batter are much better than they are from the left side. So Brad Miller is getting most of his starts at second base against right-handed pitching. You figure he would be in there talking about Villar against lefties.
Yeah, Johnny, he's turned it back around. It seemed like the longest time he couldn't buy a hit on the right side of the plate, but that has turned for him.
He is a natural right-handed hitter.
You see, against lefties, very effective. 0-2 the count. Feliz with the Astros last year, and despite the strikeouts to innings pitched, he was inconsistent enough that he was not on the postseason roster. Nor was Colin Moran, both coming over trade for Garrett Cole.
A tough roster to hook onto in the postseason. Not a lot of soft spots with the Astros.
No, pretty tough club. Back to the mound. There's Mercer, and he dropped the ball. Everybody's safe. Oh, Jordy Mercer, who has had quite the night, unable to handle the throw, and the Brewers have runners at first and second with one out.
Yeah, first error committed by the Pirates. They had gone 5 straight games without committing a miscue. Not the greatest of throws, but one that Mercer has got to be able to handle, or at least get one out of.
Yeah, he's 6. As the lineup will go back to the top, and Eric Thames.
And one more base runner, this becomes a save situation, and I mean, that's what you want to do. I mean, you want to get the closer up and start throwing.
Yeah, especially in a 5-game series, right?
Right. I mean, anytime you can get that guy up off his feet, loosen up a little bit. And that's what he's doing right now.
And there is Felipe Vasquez. Their all-star closer. 0-2 pitch. Thames has struck out his last 3 at-bats. Grounded to first to begin the game.
He's having a difficult time tonight laying off that high fastball.
Two. Once again at the top of the batting order for Milwaukee is Thames. Facing the hard throwing Michael Feliz, the 1-2. That's sharply hit. That's through a base hit. Kratz rounding third. He will score. And it's 6-2 as Villar moves to third.
There you go. Get the Pirates a little bit nervous in that dugout. Vasquez now going to start throwing in earnest. Tying run is now on deck. started by an Eric Kratz base hit, an error by Mercer, and now Thames with a base hit. And now the job of Lorenzo Cain is to figure out a way to get on base to bring up Yelich.
With Aguilar in the hole. The plot thickens a little bit as pitching coach Ray Searage makes his way to the mound.
Buying some time for his closer to get loose.
There's Vasquez. Earned his 20th save yesterday against the Nationals.
Last thing Clint Hurdle wanted to do was have to get him up, let alone bring him in the game. Up by 5 runs in the 9th. Brewers are making him sweat.
While the Brewers bullpen tonight has consisted of Adrian Hauser and Alec Asher. See if they can get the Hurdle's pen a little deeper here. A run across and 2 runners on. Part of the order now rolling to the plate. Here's Cain.
I figure this is going to be Feli's last hitter.
Lorenzo looking for his first hit. He too has struck out 3 times tonight. Grounded to first in the 8th. That's in the dirt. Two balls, no strikes. 24-year-old Michael Feliz. Two-0 pitch. He's showing signs of unraveling here. 3-0 the count.
Yeah. That plate's moving around on him a little bit.
Single from Kratz. VR reached in an error. Thames a run scoring single. Thames is running and a pitch is taken for ball 4. The bases are loaded and the tying run will be strolling to the plate.
Yep, and the Pirates are going to have to bring their closer in. And it will be back-to-back days for Vasquez, and that will affect tomorrow, even if the Brewers don't come back tonight.
Yeah, it's those things that can add up, and the Brewers, hey, they're not done, but they have gotten to the closer in a game that had been one-sided. Feliz cannot finish things off as they have to go to their all-star. It's a 6-2 game, but the Brewers have them loaded with 1 out. are loaded. Guy on your left will be at the plate. The guy on your right is on deck. As the Brewers trying to mount a rally, they'll have to do it against their all-star closer for the Pirates, Felipe Vasquez.
He's converted 10 straight save opportunities. He picked up number 20 yesterday against the Nationals. He's got the heart of the Brewers order coming up. The left-hander Yelich, followed by Aguilar. This guy has been worked a lot as of late.
This will be his 5th appearance in the last 6 days. He had Tuesday off. He appeared in 2 of the 3 games against the Pirates, 2 of the 3 games against the Nationals. Only Tuesday off in that stretch now, as he is on the mound here tonight facing Christian Yelich.
And you know that Clint Hurdle didn't want to have to use him tonight.
Big fastball, big cut.
You got a big fastball, the slider, and a terrific changeup. One of the best changeups in the business.
There are your base runners. Brewers have pushed across a run here in the 9th. 0-1 pitch to Yelich. And that is down the line, a foul ball.
And fastball in, and Yelich fighting it off.
You can see he's been pretty consistent either way. Lefty-lefty matchup right here. 2 strikes and nothing. Lays off and maybe got a break. Maybe, well, not even maybe. He got a break.
Hey, thanks, slider. Clearly in the strike zone. Boy, how do you not call that? Wow. Thank you very much.
1-2 the count. Here it comes. Yelich hangs in there. Well, the Marlins series, what looked like a called 3rd strike that wasn't, and then a home run followed.
Starling Castro.
Yeah. Off a hater. Castro got to the Brewers All-Star. Let's see if Yelich, an All-Star himself, can get to the Pirates representative. Vasquez again, the 1-2, and Yelich down the line, and that is a fair ball. Here comes Thames. Nope, he just reversed it. He was pointing fair, and then he was waving it. Paul Nartz over there, the 3rd base umpire, and Counsell, boy, he's going to want an explanation, and he isn't going to like it.
Hey, you don't see that very often. You call it fair, and then you think about it and call it foul. You just never see that. I mean, that's a huge call. Whether it's fair or not, he called it fair.
Well, you think that maybe he just got turned around or something and pointed the wrong way, and then he quickly, well, not that quickly, but after a beat or 2, he waved everything down and said foul.
Well, you can review it, can't you? It's beyond the home plate umpire.
Yeah, they're gonna take a look at it. I gotta tell you, I haven't seen the replay. In a live look, I thought it was foul, and it was.
Yeah, it is foul. I'm not sure how you call that fair. He's confused.
Yeah, he is.
He's confused. And finally, David Freese goes down and points to the spot. Then he calls it a foul ball.
Said, "Oh, you're right."
Come on, Paul. You don't have a whole lot going on down at 3rd base. It's basically fair or foul. I mean, that's not even close.
Yeah, he just
got kind of all startled out there. David Freese points at it, and then he calls a foul ball.
Yeah. one of those where you point the wrong way, you know it. And it's kind of a low light moment for an umpire.
But I guess, the question is, how do you look at that and then call it fair? I don't know.
I had
but
no idea.
They're going to get it right. It is a foul ball. I mean, it's not even close to being a fair ball.
It'll remain a ball, 2 strikes to Yelich. Frustrating moment for the Brewers manager. You're thinking for an instant you got a 2-run double.
Just got completely turned around, confused at the third base umpire.
A little time to think about it here for Vasquez, formerly Felipe Rivero. Ready again with a 1-2 pitch. Missed away with the slider.
Think about this at bat for Yelich. He should have been called on strikes on that slider that was missed by the home plate umpire. Then he almost gets a base hit that shouldn't have been a fair ball. They reverse it.
Got a lot going on.
Yeah, this is an interesting at bat. This is one he won't forget anytime soon.
Maybe he can send one to the gap here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Bouncing ball, that's through. That's a base hit. VR is in. Thames held at third, station to station. It's a 6-3 ball game. And look who's going to be coming up for the Milwaukee Brewers. Down 3 in the 9th with the bases loaded. Here comes the big man.
What an at-bat by Christian Yelich. A heck of a job. That slider that stayed right down the heart of the plate. And again, I mean, Yelich with another opportunity drives in the run anyway, and now the Brewers have the tying run at first base. You got to believe all this work that Vasquez has got lately has got to be affecting him here.
Yeah, you would think.
The slider's not really got that sharp break to it. And 5 out of 6 days, that's an awful lot.
And he is facing the all-star Jesus Aguilar. Bases loaded in the 9th. Aguilar, a ground ball to Freeze. There's one to Harrison, and that is a game-ending double play. Now Vasquez battles back. Brewers with a couple of runs in the 9th and had their big man at the plate, but Vasquez got Jesus Aguilar to roll into a double play. So the Pirates take the first of this 5-game series. Brewers made him sweat. They made him go deep into the bullpen. We'll try again tomorrow night. 6-3 your final. Let's send it to Dario Melendez at our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio.